Check. A little bit. Oh, yeah.
Live on the Husky YouTube channel and presented by the W Digital Network, Winterset Husky Softball is on the air. The W Digital Network, powered by AHV Productions, is sponsored by Farmers and Merchant State Bank, Winterset Dental, Whitney Messerschmitt with Edward Jones, Hold Our Youth Tight, Tiki Treats, Applegate Tax and Accounting, Madison County Healthcare System, Agriland FS, The Sports Page Grill, Roush Collision and Restoration, McDonald's, Swanson Masonry, Alyssa Tadlock, Madison County Realty, Suds and Pups Laundry and Dog Wash, the Pizza Ranch of Winterset, Jones Creek Apparel, Montross Pharmacy and Gift Shop, the Husky Booster Club, and now Winterset Husky Softball.
Ball here in Winterset. It is Sub-State 3, and it is the 2-3 matchup. Your 2 seed and the host, the Winterset Huskies, with a record of 25-14, taking on the 3 seed, the Oskaloosa Indians, who come in with a record of 14-20. Hello and welcome on in, everyone, to Steve Corcoran Field for today's postseason matchup between these two squads. My name is Evan Westling. I'll be bringing you all the play-by-play action for today's game. You know, the big thing, number one, is that this game is getting played here today. I think about around 5 inches of rain since Monday. And, you know, a shout out to the field crew here at Winterset to get the field ready to go for today's game. Make sure that this one is played here today and not on Monday, which could be troublesome for either of these teams, as they would have to wait until, or I shouldn't say wait, but then they would be playing another game the very next day, as they would try to punch their ticket to the state tournament. But like I said, a big one here today. It is win or go home. Winterset making their debut here in the postseason, as they did receive a first-round bye as a top 2 seed. As for Oskaloosa, they're playing in their second game. In round 1, they on Thursday. Final was 10-2, so a dominant display from the Indians to advance and punch their ticket here to Winterset to try and keep their season alive. So it should be a fun one here today, a battle between the Little Hawkeye Conference and the Raccoon River. When we come back, we'll have the first pitch and starting lineups.
Agriland FS is a financially strong and dependable cooperative rooted in more than 90 years of experience with our eye on tomorrow. With 28 locations across southern Iowa and northwest Missouri, and from the field to your home and all points in between, you can trust Agriland to be there when and where you need them. Call 515-462-5353 to learn more. Agriland FS, where loyalty and integrity still means something.
At Winterset Dental, doctors Jason Phelps and James Elliott offer comprehensive general dentistry for the whole family, including same-day crowns, root canals, extractions, and implants. They now also provide cosmetic services like Botox and dermal fillers at their new state-of-the-art 6,000-square-foot facility. Call Winterset Dental at 515-462-5755.
The Husky Booster Club's goal is to broaden the involvement and enrichment of students, student families, the school, and the community through its support for junior high and high school-related activities. Money raised by the Husky Booster Club directly benefits all high school and junior high athletic and fine art programs. The Husky Booster Club has provided over $40,000 in funding over the last 3 years. To become a Husky Booster Club member, go to huskyboosterclub.org.
Looking for a taste of paradise right here in Winterset, Iowa? Come chill at Tiki Treats Iowa, your local spot for Hawaiian-themed treats. Dive into creamy Dole soft serve, refresh with our tropical snow, sip on fresh squeezed lemonade, and snack on warm buttery pretzel bites. It's a tropical getaway, no plane ticket required. Swing by Tiki Treats Iowa today and treat yourself to a mini vacation in every bite.
Welcome back, everybody, to Winterset. Again, a battle between the 2 and 3 seed here in Sub-State 3. Take a quick look back at this bracket so far. Again, the 1 seed is Norwalk. They've got a 31-7 record tonight. They're going to be taking on Fort Madison. They were the 4 seed who advanced, took down Keokuk 8-2 in that first round. Like we said, Oskaloosa obviously a 10-2 victory in round number 1 to advance here to face Winterset. And again, nice look there on your screen of just that overall bracket. You can slide Oskaloosa over and Fort Madison trying to, advance even further, and all 4 of these teams trying to get to that sub-state final. We could have a fun one on Tuesday if it is Winterset and Norwalk, the 2 that advance the top 2 seeds. Those 2 teams have already played this season. That actually came back on July 1st. Winterset got the win over Norwalk 6-5, the final. That was here in Winterset. It was back-to-back ranked wins for the Huskies, taking down North Polk the day prior, splitting in the doubleheader, but getting that second game, and then coming back that next day and taking down Norwalk. Winterset overall, though, has ended their year on a very, on a very productive note and a hot streak. Honestly, they've won 6 of their final 7 games, including a pair of ranked wins, as we mentioned, over North Polk and Norwalk. And if you flip to the other side with Oskaloosa, kind of the same thing for them. They've put together a good end to their season here as they've gotten into the postseason and then also started the postseason as they have won 4 of their last 5, including their win over Mount Pleasant back on Thursday. So a couple of teams that are playing some really good ball here at the end of the season, which is exactly what you want if you're both coaching staffs, because you got to be playing your best when your best is needed the most, and that's what is called for when you're here in the postseason. And, speaking of these coaching staffs, you have a couple of first-year head coaches. Alex DeYoung for the Indians in his first season. He's already got a perfect record here in the postseason, 1-0 after their win on Thursday over Mount Pleasant. As for Coach Anita Smith, she's looking for her first win here in the postseason as the head coach of Winterset, and for her, she's obviously replacing a legendary coach in Steve Corcoran, who obviously this field is now named after. 25 years for him here in Winterset and a 5-time state champ, so plenty of postseason success for the Huskies here, and Coach Anita Smith is looking to be the next coach to keep that ball rolling and continue that success here in the postseason. Like we mentioned, her team playing very well, but we'll see what they can do against Oskaloosa. When I kind of look at the numbers for both sides, Winterset has been a very impressive offensive team all season long. They're batting .352 as a team, an on-base percentage of .411, but they're just very good in terms of extra base hits. 68 doubles, 7 triples, and 27 home runs, and a couple of key players, Zoe Breeding and Neela Applegate, are very hard to stop. And so it's going to come down to the Oskaloosa pitching staff and their defense to find a way to limit them, to give their offense a chance. And it's been a tough year for the Indian pitching staff. A 6.74 ERA as a group. They've given up 339 hits. Their batting average against them is .347. And then in terms of their defense, not bad. 50 errors, fielding percentage at about 94%. So I think really the battle comes down to when Winterset is at the plate and when Oskaloosa is in the field. I think whoever can, separate themselves in those certain aspects, I think is probably what's going to lead to the victory for either side. Because if you flip it over, Oskaloosa is certainly a talented offense as well. 308 batting average as a team with a 352 on-base percentage. A lot lower, though, in terms of extra base hits. Just 37 total, 24 doubles, 12 homers, and then the single triple. And then you kind of give that plus to Winterset in terms of what we've seen over the season, and you're going to see Kylie Nelson in the circle to start things off for Winterset, and she kind of headlines that group in the circle. But as a team, under 4 ERA for the Huskies, 3.93 to be exact. 136 strikeouts with 102 belonging to Kylie Nelson, so that will be a tough part for this Indian batting order to deal with. And then pretty similar in terms of defensively, 49 errors. Their percentage, though, is about one better at 95. So, again, really for both of these sides, you kind of get the vibe that Winterset has that better pitching staff and really better offense, but it seems a little bit more even in terms of the matchup you'll see when Winterset is out defensively and Oskaloosa is at the plate. And so that's where, if you're Oskaloosa, you have to do your best to stay in the game and hope that your pitching staff can do a good enough job in limiting the Winterset offense to really give yourself a chance to, get over the hump and find a way to take down these Huskies and get yourself an upset and advance to the sub-state final, which is going to be on Tuesday. That will be played at the highest seed remaining. So there is a chance that Oskaloosa could be a host if Fort Madison goes on to beat Norwalk as well. But it is Norwalk sub-state, and it's kind of theirs to lose essentially, as they'll be the host if they're able to win. If Winterset wins and Norwalk loses, then you'll have the sub-state final here. And then if Oskaloosa wins this one with Fort Madison losing, then you'll have that sub-state final out in Oskaloosa. So plenty of things to keep track of tonight. We'll do our best to, follow social media and see if we can get any update on that Norwalk-Fort Madison game to keep you all informed of what's going on the other side of this bracket, to see what the winner of this game will face and who they will face off against. But looks like both teams are getting ready here pretty shortly, so we'll take another quick break, and I think we'll have the starting lineups coming up here shortly.
Step up to the plate and find your dream home in Winterset, a small town with a big heart. Alyssa Tadlock believes in hometown values, front porch living, and a community that always feels like home. Located at 65 West Jefferson in the heart of Winterset, we're here to help you hit a home run. Call Alyssa today, and let's make your next move a grand slam.
Jones Creek Apparel offers graphics and logo design, screen printing, embroidery, direct-to-film, and promotional products. Proud supporters of Winterset Athletics. They are happy to work with any organization or individual, regardless of the order size. Open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to noon. Give them a call at 515-462-4132 or visit their website, jonescreekapparel.com. Jones Creek Apparel.
At Madison County Healthcare System, you're not just another patient. You're part of our family. Our dedicated team of familiar faces is here to provide personalized care throughout your treatment journey. From family medicine to emergency care and more, we offer expert care close to home. Trust the faces you know for the care you need. Madison County Healthcare System, where every patient is family.
Right now, both head coaches, Nita Smith for Winterset and Alex DeYoung for Oskaloosa, currently meeting at home plate with our three umpires here today, kind of that postseason. You get the extra one to have a pair of them out in the field and one behind the dish, obviously further showing off the stakes of this game for both sides. It's nice to get that boost in terms of the amount of umpires you'll have, and just kind of going over a couple of things before we'll have the starting lineups coming up here in just a bit for Winterset. Basically the same lineup that you've really been accustomed to over the course of the season, from top to bottom. A little slight movement in terms of placement in the batting order, but same faces, mainly the same places, both in the order and in the field. And we'll get into the numbers later, but your pitching battle tonight, Kylie Nelson in the circle for the Huskies, and for the Indians, it's going to be Shannon Van Reenen. So with that, we'll go ahead and turn it over to our PA announcer here to give you tonight's starting lineups.
Again, this year we are committed to maintaining the highest level of sportsmanship possible at all athletic events. We join the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Association asking every fan to be courteous and considerate of our neighbors in the stands by what we say and what we do. Tonight's officials are Mr. Jeff Foster, Mr. Ron Taylor, and Mr. Bart Banwart. And now for our starting lineups. First, for the Oskaloosa Indians. Leading off and playing shortstop, number 6, Haley Parker. Batting second, playing second base, number 3, Jillian Parks. Hitting third, playing first base, number 15, Araceli Pilcher. Your cleanup batter and catcher, number 21, Candace Grubb. Playing right field and batting fifth, number 9, Logan Egger. Your sixth batter, designated player, number 22, Ireland McGraw. Batting seventh, playing left field, number 5, Kenna Grubb. Your pitcher and batting eighth, number 20, Shannon Van Reenen. Batting ninth and playing center field, number 2, Vivian Bolibaugh. And at third base, number 4, Kobe Chris. And now your starting lineup for the Winterset Huskies. Leading off, playing left field, number 1, Ashlyn Devine. Batting second, playing shortstop, number 10, McKenna Olson. Playing third base and batting third, number 2, Zoe Breeding. Your cleanup batter and at first base, number 3, Macy Olson. Batting fifth, playing second base, number 12, Neela Applegate. Batting sixth and behind the plate, number 5, Bella Taylor. Your center fielder and batting seventh, number 9, Natalie Smith. Batting eighth and your designated player, number 35, Zoe Hope. Batting ninth, playing right field, number 14, Addie Gross. And on the mound tonight for the Huskies, number 21, Kylie Nelson. Now please stand and join us in honoring our country with the playing of the national anthem.
Like we mentioned before those starting lineups, your starting pitcher here today in this sub-state semifinal in region number 3 is going to be the sophomore Winterset's ace. It's number 21, Kylie Nelson. A 16-10 record for her, over 155 innings. She's got a 3.75 ERA, 102 strikeouts to 41 walks, 164 hits, and 96 runs allowed, with opponents hitting 270 against the sophomore Nelson. And for her, you know, obviously a big game as it's winner go home for both sides, but you know, Winterset's going to need her best, and she's going to have to find a way to bounce back from what was a tough outing in Winterset's regular season finale against Des Moines Roosevelt back on Wednesday. In that game, Nelson, she certainly had trouble with the Rough Riders. She only went 5 2/3 innings, so she was pulled in that game after she allowed 5 runs off of 8 hits. She did not get any strikeouts, and she walked 4 batters. And this is someone who's very efficient in striking people out and not walking batters. So it was a tough outing for her. And you know, if you're Coach Smith, if you're the Huskies, they need Nelson to be at her best here tonight in hopes of securing a win and advancing to the sub-state final, whether that is here in Winterset or out in Norwalk. Those are the two possibilities for Winterset if they're the winners of this game. But for Nelson, she'll face off against Haley Parker to get things going for Oskaloosa, also a sophomore as well. Parker batting .432. She's got 48 hits on 111 at-bats, and she's got an on-base percentage of .452. So good starting spot for this Oskaloosa lineup. That one popped into the air, and it's going to be caught actually by your left fielder out in third base territory. You had the entire infield playing in. So it's a pop-up to the left fielder, despite her being in the infield for out number 1. And that's going to bring up the 2 spot, Jillian Parks. Freshman hitting .340 with 32 hits on 94 at-bats. She got an on-base percentage of .386. She'll take the first pitch. It's a miss there from Nelson. The rest of Oskaloosa's lineup here in this sub-state semifinal. On deck, you have Araceli Pilcher, followed by Cadence Grubb, Logan Edgar, Ireland McGraw, Kenna Grubb, Shannon Van Reenen, and then Vivian Bolaba to round things out. One popped up but out of play. And we'll have a 1-2 count here against Parks. One-two on its way home to Parks, and a close pitch from Nelson. Didn't get the call though, so it'll be evened up at 2-2. Looked like the rest of her infield thought that it was a backwards K for her, just missed. And this one is also a miss. A couple of really nice spots from Nelson, doesn't get the call on either of them, and we've got a full count here for Jillian Parks. The 3-2 from Nelson put in play, and that's going to be a base hit in between the 5 and 6 hole. So Parks battles back from a 1-2 count. Nice job laying off of a couple of close pitches. And then she delivers with a hit, so an early one against Nelson. And that's going to bring up Araceli Pilcher. 1 on and 1 away for the sophomore. 301 average for her, 31 hits off of 103 at-bats. And an on-base percentage of .318. First pitch to Pilcher, fouled off. Looking at Parks on the bases, a very good base runner, 15 for 15 when attempting to steal bags here this season. That is second most on this Indian squad behind Haley Parker, the leadoff hitter for Oskaloosa. That one's popped up, trending towards out of play, and it will pop out. When you look at Parker and Parks, Parker, the leadoff, who was put away on a pop-up to the left fielder, she's 6th in the Little Hawkeye in terms of the most stolen bases, and then Parks is just a few spots behind her. 9th most in their conference, 3 less than her overall on the season. 0-2 pitch comes home from Nelson. Nice job from Taylor to keep that one in front of her and hold Parks over at first base. One-two will miss. Low and inside from Nelson to even things up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got a quick out on Parker to get things going. Had a 6-pitch at-bat to Parks. And now Pilcher is making Nelson earn this out here in the first. That one popped up, going back out to Devine. And she's put out both Indians here so far in the first inning.
Now batting, catcher number 21, Candace Grubb.
2 away and 1 on for the cleanup hitter, Candace Grubb. Grubb with a .368 average, 35 hits, and a .404 on-base percentage. And taking off there is going to be Parks. Great throw, and it is in time from Taylor. A great play from the Winterset catcher, and that will erase the single from Parks, and it ends up being a 1-2-3 for the Huskies when it's all said and done. And just completely flashing the arm there is Taylor throwing out her 6th runner on the season. 0-0 as we head to the bottom of inning number 1.
Here in Winterset, let Applegate Tax and Accounting provide you with all the assistance you need for your taxes and accounting services. Ben Applegate is a certified public accountant and an IRS-registered tax preparer. ready to help you with locations in Winterset and Waukee. For more information, call 515-462-4553 or visit their website.
Farmers and Merchant State Bank is your locally owned and operated hometown bank with hometown pride, and they are very proud of the Winterset Huskies. Farmers and Merchant State Bank makes local decisions, has local concerns, and prioritizes you, the customer, and the personalized service you receive. Give them a call or stop by one of their locations in Winterset, St. Charles, or Orient. Member FDIC. Let's go Huskies.
Starting pitcher here tonight for Oskaloosa is the senior Shannon Van Reenen, making her 26th start on the season. She's got a 12-13 record here in her senior campaign, 137 2/3 innings pitched. She's good for a 5.9 ERA, 91 strikeouts to 39 walks, and certainly a hittable pitcher here for Winterset tonight, as she's given up 216 hits and 147 runs with a 334 batting average against her. So statistically, Winterset is going to have their chances here to get a couple of base hits off of Van Reenen here tonight, and we'll see what this very talented offense can do against the Oskaloosa pitcher. She faces off against Ashlyn Devine to get things going for the Huskies. 409 average for the senior with 45 hits on 110 at-bats and an on-base percentage just under 500 at .492. She'll take that pitch for a strike and a 1-1 count. Again, like we mentioned, Winterset as a team batting .350 with almost 350 hits as a team. They've been super productive, and they've been a threat to show off the power, tallying over 100 extra base hits on the season, but popping up to get things going is Devine out to center field.
Number 10, McKenna Olson.
Now bring up the 2 spot, McKenna Olson for the Huskies. 418 average for Olson, 51 hits on 122 at-bats. She is second in the Raccoon River in hits, only behind her teammate Zoe Breeding, who you'll see up next. Breeding is a couple ahead of her, 6 more to lead the Raccoon River at 57. But for Olson, like we said, those 51 hits and an on-base percentage of .448. First pitch to her misses outside. A look at the rest of Winterset's order. Already mentioned Zoe Breeding, who is on deck. You've got the cleanup hitter, Macy Olson, in the hole, followed by Neela Applegate, Bella Taylor, Natalie Smith, Zoe Hope, and Addie Gross to round things out. 1-0 poked out into right field, and that will drop for Olson as she delivers a single in the 2 spot to get the hit started here for Winterset tonight. So you've got 1 away and 1 on for what has been the best hitter and really best player for Winterset this season, Zoe Breeding, the senior, who will be heading to Wartburg next year to continue her volleyball career. So if that tells you anything about the level of volleyball player she is, not playing softball despite being just a phenomenal one, you can only imagine what she can do on the court playing volleyball. Batting .483, she's got 57 hits. 43 RBIs and an on-base percentage over 500 at .512. She's in the top 10 in the Raccoon River of pretty much every major statistical category when it comes to offense, including her batting average, hits, RBIs, doubles, triples, homers, on-base percentage, you name it. She does it all, and she has been phenomenal for the Huskies here in 2025. 2-0 pitch misses high and quickly 3-0. Now, honestly, if you're Oskaloosa, you want to go ahead and do your best to get Breeding out, but probably not the worst-case scenario if you don't have to truly face her, and if it's a walk in 4 pitches. I'm sure that's something you would never want, but there are worse outcomes when you face Zoe Breeding. 3-0 is a firm take from her, and that's the first strike of the at-bat for Van Reenen. .3-1 is another take from Breeding, but this one will miss. So you have the base hit from Olson, a walk drawn from Breeding, and the Huskies have their last two batters aboard for their cleanup hitter, Macy Olson. She's got her sister over at second base. Macy batting .319, 37 hits, just 14 RBIs. She's obviously got one in play with McKenna over at second. First pitch to Olson, put in play over to short. And Olson didn't realize that the greeting was at first, so she went back to second base, but that one was later occupied. And she is put out over at third base. Her sister Macy will reach on a fielder's choice. 2 away now for the Huskies, and this brings up probably the second most productive player for Winterset, and Neela Applegate. On her way to UNI next season. She was second team All-State last year. This season she's batting .387, 36 hits, 29 RBIs with 17 extra base hits, 9 doubles, a triple, and 7 homers. 0-1 to Hurd, takes a bounce off the dirt to make things a 1-1 count. One to Applegate, popped up high, and that will be caught by Parks. So despite a couple of base runners for the Huskies, they're unable to push any across. So we'll stay put at 0-0 as we head to the second inning.
Remember when retirement meant just stopping work and slowing down? Well, nowadays it's about so much more. Today's retirees are embracing newfound freedom and exploring new interests. Edward Jones Financial Advisors are here to help you identify your priorities and goals and create a plan to achieve them. Call Whitney Messer-Smith at 515-468-6200 to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
The McDonald's in Winterset aims to offer an outstanding dining experience and a welcoming atmosphere while maintaining McDonald's gold standard in service, cleanliness, and value. Their vision is to be the top spot in the community for family and friends to enjoy great food, drinks, and conversation. They are open daily from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m., with the drive-thru available 7 days a week from 5 a.m. to midnight.
Nelson back out for her second inning of work. She'll get a second chance here against Cadence Grubb, as she was at the plate, but on an attempted steal from Jillian Parks, she was thrown out by Taylor, and that ended the first inning. So we'll go back to the cleanup hitter. Another opportunity for Cadence Grubb. Like we mentioned earlier, 35 hits for her this season.
Cadence Grubb.
Quick stoppage before we go ahead and get going. Olson, the shortstop for the Huskies, took a quick second to tie her shoe there. First pitch to Grubb, poked out into center field, and she'll get herself a base hit. 2 of them now for the Indians here tonight. The first one was from Parks back in the first. And just a piece of good hitting out of Grubb, no doubter out into center. Leadoff is aboard, and it looks like we will have a runner coming in for Grubb. Looks to be number 8, that's Leah Lorenzen.
Number 8, Leah Lorenzen.
Lorenzen, 3 stolen bases on the season. She hasn't been thrown out attempting to steal. Again, you always wonder what a coaching staff will do after seeing a runner get thrown out, especially the first runner that they've sent to steal a bag get thrown out. It tends to kind of make a team a little bit more cautious in terms of their decision to send runners. And the other thing, too, Parks had not been thrown out stealing the entire season. She had 15 successful stolen bags on her 15 attempts. First time she was punched out, so you really wonder how aggressive Oskaloosa will be on the bases, having already lost 1 runner because of that. The sack bunt play will work out of Edgar, advancing Lorenzen, who is running for Grubb, over to second base. Would have been curious to see if Olsen would have let that one go a little bit further. I think it was trending towards out of play, so you could have erased the sac bunt play, but regardless, Winterset gets an out, but a big win there for the Indians, who have one in scoring position for Ireland McGraw. First pitch to her, a miss outside. McGraw's got 26 hits, 17 RBIs. Not a big extra base hitter, only 3 on the season, 1 double and a pair of home runs. 1-0 to her, put in play, goes back to Nelson. She'll fire it over to Olsen at first, and there's out number 2. But a productive out for McGraw, who pushes Grubb just 60 feet away now. Right, again, not Grubb. Actually, that's, once again, Lorenzen in as a pinch runner for Grubb. But now you'll have the other Grubb, Kenna Grubb, at the dish, trying to bring in the runner who is in for her sister. Kenna Grubb, 16 hits, just 9 RBIs. All of her hits but 1 have been singles, but a single is going to bring in Lorenzen, so if that's what you get out of Kenna Grubb here in the 7th spot, you absolutely take that if you're Coach DeYoung and the Indians. 1-0 to Grubb. Swing and a miss there, and we'll be evened up at 1-1. Forgot to mention it back in the first, but the Winterset defense alongside Nelson. Obviously, you've heard it announced before, but Bella Taylor catching for Nelson here tonight. And then going from third to first, you'll have Breeding, McKenna Olsen, Applegate, and then Macy Olsen. And then from left to right is Devine, Smith, and Gross to round out the Husky defense. Got a 1-2 count here for Grubb. Nelson looking to erase the leadoff single from the other Grubb to kick off this second inning. 1-2 pitch goes home, attacked on a little bit of a chase pitch. Low and outside, no bite there from Grubb, so we're evened up at 2-2. Two will be a strikeout for Nelson. Her first of the night after not recording any versus Des Moines Roosevelt her last time up, despite being 5th in the conference in strikeouts. A nice job from her to get out of the inning, erase that single, and no runs put up by the Indians here through 2 innings.
Montross Pharmacy has been offering fast, friendly, and professional service with familiar local faces you can trust since 1921. Locally owned and operated. At Montross, you get quick, reliable answers to your prescription and over-the-counter medication questions. They also have the healthcare supplies you need, as well as a gift shop and soda fountain. Conveniently located on the west side of the historic Winterset Square. Open Monday through Saturday.
Pizza Ranch in Winterset promises you a great experience. You'll find a buffet full of your favorite pizzas, the country's best chicken, or just come for dessert. They have party rooms available for your next family gathering or fundraising event. Craving a night in? Pizza Ranch delivers. Order online or call. Open Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. The Pizza Ranch at 1009 John Wayne Drive.
Bottom of the second inning here in Winterset. 6-7-8, the due-up for the Huskies. That starts with the catcher, Bella Taylor. In that win over Des Moines Roosevelt that we talked about in the regular season finale for Winterset on Wednesday. It was a 7-5 win, and Winterset came back and really stole that one from the Rough Riders, and Bella Taylor a huge part in that win for the Huskies. She went 3 for 4, had a double, a homer, and 3 RBIs. I heard that it was a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 7th for Taylor to go ahead and give Winterset the win over Des Moines Roosevelt. So certainly ending on a high note for sure. A walk-off win is probably the best way you can send yourself into the postseason. That is absolutely momentum, and you love to see it out of Bella Taylor, who has definitely been a phenomenal hitter for the Huskies here in 2025. She's going to DMAC next season, but this year as a Husky batting .337, 33 hits, and 32 RBIs. Very productive when you're having about 1 RBI per hit. A great off-speed pitch there from Van Reenen to drop the count to 1-2 for Taylor, who's going to have to fight back here. The 1-2 from Van Reenen. Another nice off-speed. That one misses just a touch low, so it'll be evened up at 2-2. Poked over too short. Parker fires it away, and in time to retire Taylor for out number 1 here in the second.
No batting for Winterset, center fielder number 9, Natalie Smith.
It's going to bring up the 7th spot, Natalie Smith. The sophomore's got 24 hits and a batting average of .245 here. Should also mention the Oskaloosa defense. Catching for Van Reenen is one of the grubs. That is Cadence Grubb behind the dish. And then you have Chris at third, Parker at short, Parks at second, and Pilcher at first base. And then going from left to right, you have the other grub in left field, Boliba in center, and Edgar in right field. And that is the Indian defense here tonight in your Region 3 Sub-State semifinal here in Winterset. 0-1 to Smith. We'll miss low. We'll have a 1-1 count. Again, the winner of this one advances to take on the winner of Norwalk versus Fort Madison. The other matchup here in region number 3. Should Norwalk win, they'll be the host regardless of the winner of this game. If Norwalk loses, then you'll see the winner of this game be the host in that sub-state final on Tuesday, as both these teams trying to make their way to the state tournament. Both of these squads were unable to get there last year. The Indians fell in the first round of sub-state, lost 1-0 to Knoxville. Losing in that type of game to end your season is never a fun one. And then for Winterset, they fell just one game short. They lost in the sub-state final to their Raccoon River foe in ADM 6-0. So looking to get some revenge, if you would, and make their way back to the state tournament. Obviously a mainstay for a long time with Steve Corcoran at the helm of this program, but Anita Smith now trying to make her mark here in Winterset and write a new legacy. She's got a tough thing to back up after Corcoran got 5 state championships. So he had one every 5 years exactly. And Coach Smith would tell you that she would love to have it more frequently than once every 5 years if she could. Seeing what she can do here in year number 1. But a full count here for Smith, who has battled back from a 1-2 count. (3-2) put in play, and that is going to be a base hit for Natalie Smith. A great at-bat out of her.
Smith reaches on a single, now the plate, number 35.
To give Winterset their first base runner here in the second. Last inning, they had their leadoff Divine go out, and then had 3 straight batters reach. This inning so far the same after their leadoff in the inning was put out, and their second gets a single. So if Deja Vu continues, you'd get a walk here out of Zoe Hope, as Zoe Breeding got walked back in the first in this spot. Strike delivered to Hope on the first pitch. The senior's got 12 hits on 49 at-bats, good for a .245 batting average. Probably won't see Smith taken off at first, just 3 stolen base attempts on the season. Hope popped up, but that's going to go out of play. (0-2) count here for Hope. Van Reenen trying to get her second out here in the second. Hope pops up once again. This one will be in fair territory and over to second base as Parks snatches that one for out number 2 here in the second.
Number 14, Addie Gross.
Two away for the 9 spot, Addie Gross. 30 hits for her in her sophomore season, batting over 300 at 312. Trying to find a way to get a 2-out rally started. Push Smith a little bit further. Again, is a great at-bat from Natalie Smith, who battled back from a 1-2 and then was able to get a base hit in between the 5 and 6 hole to reach base for the Huskies. (1-0) poked over to second, and you'll have back-to-back putouts there by the second baseman, Jillian Parks. So despite Smith getting a single with 1 away, she isn't pushed anywhere past first base, and we're scoreless through 2 here in Winterset.
We're really excited to announce the addition of our tow truck. In addition to our rental cars, this is going to give us a unique ability to serve you better. We're going to have the ability to take the phone call from you stranded on the side of the highway after a deer hit or a collision, with the potential to load a rental car up on the back of our truck, deliver it to you on the side of the highway, get you back on your way to work or to home, load your accident vehicle up, bring it back to the shop where we can handle your claim process from there.
The Sports Page Grill at 224 East Highway 92 in Winterset is the place to meet your friends before or after that big event. With a great menu, you'll find something you love. The Sports Page Grill can host or cater any special events you might have. Just call 515-462-4673. The Sports Page Grill. We'll see you there, and don't forget, the Sports Page is the home of Husky Talk Live.
Number 20, Shannon Van Reenen.
Still scoreless here as we enter the 3rd inning here in Winterset. So far, the Indians have gotten 1 over to third base, but right now, Nelson has only faced 1 over the minimum, despite giving up 2 hits so far today. She's got 8-9-1 in the order, currently facing off against the starting pitcher for the Indians here tonight in the circle, Shannon Van Reenen. Like we mentioned, a very good pitcher, the ace here for Oskaloosa, hitting for herself as well. She's got 16 hits, 9 RBIs on the season. You're also going to see Vivian Bolabaugh next, and then back to the top of the order with Haley Parker. Those 3 guaranteed to get up, and that one off the glove of Zoe Breeding. Sometimes all you got to do is put it in play and see what happens. And that's exactly what Van Reenen did, and definitely one that you probably want to see Breeding come down with. So that will go in as an error over on Breeding at third base. And for the 2nd consecutive inning, the leadoff is aboard for Oskaloosa. You're going to have a courtesy runner now for Oskaloosa over at first. I think it's number 7, which will be Presley Bryan. Another potential sack bunt play. Nice job from Breeding to scoop it, and you'll get a double play. I'm not sure what Bryan was waiting for over at first base, but a heads-up play from Breeding. And a disaster for Oskaloosa, but a big-time play for Breeding, who makes up for her error just before that. I think Bryan was probably held up to see if that was going to be a catch for Breeding. And she was kind of frozen about halfway in between the bases. And now you have another one at Breeding. And when it's all said and done, she's a part of all 3 outs. You had the error, which felt like just a moment ago. And just like that, the inning is also over after a couple of nice plays from Breeding. No runs for the Indians through 3.
Is your puppy in need of a little TLC? Bring them down to Suds and Pups for a complete spa treatment in the state-of-the-art pet wash. located next to Straight Shots Golf Simulator at 215 North 1st Avenue in Winterset. And don't forget, attached to the dog wash is Winterset's newest laundromat, open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Stop by today.
Swanson Masonry specializes in foundation replacement throughout central Iowa. If your foundation is damaged, their experienced team can safely and efficiently remove your existing foundation and construct a new one. While foundation replacement can be an extensive undertaking, Swanson Masonry has the skills necessary to get the job done right. Let them put their expertise to work for you. Give them a call at 515-210-3463.
Bottom of the third here in Winterset. They're going to be back to the top of the order to get this inning started. That's Ashlyn Devine, McKenna Olson, and Zoe Breeding. Looking at Ashlyn Devine. She flew out to center field her first time up, back in inning number 1. Huskies had 2 hits their first time through the lineup, 1 for McKenna Olson, 1 for Natalie Smith. Then they had 4 base runners total. Breeding was walked, and then Macy Olson got on via a fielder's choice. So 4 people got on in the first time through the lineup in some capacity for the Huskies. .102 Devine got a piece of her bat on a little bit of a check swing, making things a 1-1 count. The 1-1 is going to be a bunt from Devine, and it just spins foul. Looked like it was going to be a perfect bunt from Devine, but didn't get enough help from the spin of the softball, and she'll come back with a bunt now off the table with a 1-2 count. But a heads-up play there from Devine nearly kind of took a bag almost freely. Obviously, a bunt wasn't expected in any capacity. Had that one stayed in play, that would have been an easy base hit for her. 1-2, a fantastic off-speed pitch, but just misses from Van Rieden. Looked like he was going to drop in, but then broke a little low. Two to Devine, put in play, and actually take that back. It sounds like, I think it was a foul ball. So Devine's staying over at first, but it is in fact a foul ball. Get a second look here. Yeah, so it hit inside of the batter's box, and that was the reason for the foul ball, bringing Devine back to the plate. Coach Smith trying to get a word on the call, but it didn't take long, so probably not much of a disagreement from her end, just trying to understand what was going on. Your count is 2-2 still. Devine continuing to battle here. A miss outside there. Devine will have a full count. She had a good game in that Roosevelt win as well for the Huskies. 2-for-3 outing for Ashlyn Devine against the Rough Riders. Searching for her first base hit and first appearance on base here today. Second at bat. And that one will miss inside. Coaxed a reaction out of the Oskaloosa crowd. Thought they had strike number 3, but instead ball 4 was called. Devine was walked. Nobody is out, and the leadoff is aboard for the Huskies. And McKenna Olson, she singled in the first. You have the corners playing in for the Indians, probably expecting some form of bunt. And there it is, placed down by Olson. And they'll punch out her, but the sacrifice bunt is completed successfully for Winterset. They'll sacrifice the out for positioning for the runner in Devine, and that brings up Breeding. And knowing anything about Breeding, she's got plenty of power, so a gap shot is certainly scoring Devine, probably a big reason as to why you saw that sacrifice bunt play there. Great off-speed pitch there from Van Rieden. Gets a strike to Breeding to get things going. Oh, one goes a little high. Making a 1-1 count for Zoe here. Nearly getting the bite was Breeding, but strike called nonetheless. Those off speeds have hung in the air for a very long time out of Van Rieden, needing some patience from the Huskies. 1-2 count for Breeding here. Van Rieden would love an unproductive out here against her. Won't be that, but they won't get an out. Pulled off the bag is Pilcher.
Number 3, Macy Olson.
I'm trying to see if that was the throw that pulled her off or if Pilcher just kind of came off. Yeah, no, definitely the throw that pulled her off the bag, so probably credit the error to the shortstop Parker there. Looked like it was going to be out number 2 with one at third, but instead Winterset will have runners on the corners with just one down for Macy Olson, as the Huskies are looking to strike first here against the Indians. Be curious to see if Breeding moves at all. Bunt shown, and there goes Breeding. Stolen bag for her. Her 8th of the season, and 2 are in scoring position. So now a gap shot could give the Huskies a 2-run advantage. Oh, 1 is a bunt put down, and it just goes foul. It looked like Pilcher actually may have been the one that hated that ball out of play. Didn't draw any conversation from Coach Smith, so maybe she didn't see it either, but it looks like Pilcher may have touched that when it was in fair play. If so, that would have been fair ball, and Winterset's probably scoring a run. Instead, it wasn't called. You get a 1-2 count here for Olson, who's going to have to find a way to swing the bat to get her way on base and drive in a run or two. And on the season, Macy Olson with just 14 RBIs. For the most part, a singles hitter. She does have 7 doubles and 1 home run. The 1-2 to her. And that one, another skip off of the dirt. Back-to-back pitches off the dirt. Low from Van Rieden to make it a 2-2 count. Again, the dangerous Neela Applegate awaits on deck. She would love to have just one away. Two put in play, and that's going to be a base hit for Macy Olson. And the Huskies will strike first, and great base running from Olson as well, who took second base on the throw from left field. Again, probably an unnecessary throw home from Grubb. Devine had already scored. She sent it all the way home. There was no cutoff, and because of that, Olsen was able to take second base. So now Winterset in the exact same position, but they've just added a run and have put up a very dangerous hitter in Neela Applegate. She popped up to second her first time up, but on the season, Applegate's got 36 hits and 29 RBIs. She's got the 9th most RBIs in the Raccoon River Conference. Has the ability to break this one open a little bit here in the third. If she can find a way to find some open grass, shows bunt. The pitch goes low. And Van Reenen has had a number of those here tonight, just uncompetitive low pitches. But curious to see what the Indian defense is going to do here after the bunt was shown there by Applegate. Right now you've got both corners in. This may be a strategy to coax those outside infielders closer, giving Applegate the chance to get a little bit more on a base hit, and that's kind of exactly what she did, just didn't put it in play as it's fouled straight back. You should probably see those corner infielders head back. It looks like they're still playing a little bit inside, or playing closer to home plate. Obviously, there's no capability for a bunt with it being a 1-2 count. Applegate pokes one up high, and it will be caught by the shortstop, Parker. An unproductive out is exactly what you needed if you're Oskaloosa.
Catcher Bella Taylor.
That's 2 away for Bella Taylor, who's going to be tasked here to try and bring in Breeding from third and Olsen from second. Taylor with some serious extra base power. 10 doubles, 10 homers. She got the most home runs in the conference. 8th in doubles, and she's 8th in RBIs with 32 of them. First pitch is one of those off-speed that just always find a way to drop in from Van Reenen. One goes high to even things up at 1-1. And if you're Winterset, you would love to get a little bit more out of this inning than just one run. I wouldn't say you would necessarily walk away disappointed, but if you got 2 in scoring position with 1 out, it could be an inning you'll look back on if you only come away with 1 run. A big hack from Taylor on the 1-1, missed it all. And Van Reenen in the driver's seat here with a 1-2 count. One-two goes home to Taylor, able to get a piece of it to stay alive. And a catch out in the stands from one of the Oskaloosa fans. One-two to Taylor, able to stay alive once again. A good fight out of her. We'll see if she can turn this into a productive at-bat. Another 1-2 sent home to Taylor. She'll get a piece of it yet again. 3 straight foul balls from Bella Taylor. One-two, just misses from Van Reenen. She had pitched outside the number of pitches, at least 4 in a row. Taylor goes down the middle, had that ball drop almost to the bottom of the strike zone, but a little bit low. Change in pace, 2-2 count now. Should go back to the outside. Taylor pops one up out into left field, and not a lot of movement from Grubb, who can camp underneath it to secure the third and final out of the third inning. The Huskies stray in 2, but they are able to score the first run of the ball game off of an RBI single from Macy Olson.
AgriLand FS is a financially strong and dependable cooperative rooted in more than 90 years of experience with our eye on tomorrow. With 28 locations across southern Iowa and northwest Missouri, and from the field to your home and all points in between, you can trust AgriLand to be there when and where you need them. Call 515-462-5353 to learn more. AgriLand FS, where loyalty and integrity still means something.
Here in Winterset, let Applegate Tax and Accounting provide you with all the assistance you need for your taxes and accounting services. Ben Applegate is a certified public accountant and an IRS-registered tax preparer, ready to help you with locations in Winterset and Waukee. For more information, call 515-462-4553 or visit their website.
Believe it or not, this is just the 4th meeting all-time in program history between Winterset and Oskaloosa, and this one certainly has the biggest ramifications with it being a matchup here in the postseason. You look at this one, though, out of those previous 4 appearances or matchups, only one has been played in the 2020s, with it coming in 2021. It was a 7-4 victory to Winterset. First matchup came out in 2011, and if my memory serves me correctly, I think the other two are in 2014 and 2017, I think. So it's been at least 4 years since these two teams have played, and quite a gap from that one to the third meeting. Not a lot of times these two teams have faced, which is kind of shocking. You know, the Little Hawkeye and the Raccoon River, you see those two conferences really crisscross a lot in terms of matchups against each other. You know, if you just look at Oskaloosa this season, you know, they've played Bondurant, they've played Boone, those are the two, and now Winterset. So they've taken on 3 of the 9 schools in the Raccoon River. If you look at Winterset, they obviously got one here against Oskaloosa. They played Norwalk back in July, and I think they just have 2 as well, but nonetheless, you usually see. Oh, and they also played DCG earlier in the season. So you see these conferences kind of crisscross a lot. Obviously, for the most part, all of these schools are in a good radius of each other, not too far apart. And the Little Hawkeyes got Norwalk, DCG, Indianola, Pella, Oskaloosa, Pella Christian, and Newton. And the Raccoon River's got North Polk, ADM, Carlisle, Bondurant, Winterset, Boone, Gilbert, Ballard, and Carroll. So, again, for the most part, all of these schools kind of roped in to that same vicinity. And it looks like it's going to be a walk for Parks to get things going. Winterset thought they may have had a strike on a check swing, which Parks was able to hold back. And third straight inning for the Indians with their leadoff batter aboard. So quick update on that other matchup here in Sub-State 3. Norwalk leads it 5-0, so they're off to a very good start, trying to host a Sub-State final. And not throwing her out for the second time was Taylor. Very close play over at second. This time Parks gets the best of Taylor. That one was very close. The throw was a little high. If it was a little bit more on target, could have been close. Yeah, super close there for the Huskies. Couldn't get the call this time around. Oh-1 to Grubb, fouled straight back, and we'll have an 0-2 count now. Or check that, that's Pilcher at the plate. Cadence Grubb on deck. But like we mentioned, we got all those 16 teams in a similar space. You look at the Little Hawkeye final standings. Norwalk finishes in first. Them and DCG both went 31-7 and 16-2 in conference. But Norwalk gets the first place finish due to the tiebreaker. They took down DCG 2 times out of 3. Now, I don't think technically many conferences do utilize the tiebreakers. For the most part, it's a co-champion, so I would imagine that Norwalk and DCG were actually just co-champions. Got a high pop-up in the center. Nice job from Smith to come in and grab that one for the first out here in the fourth. But I would give Norwalk the outright championship. I think if you played a odd number of games in a season, then against an opponent, then one team is obviously bound to win more than the other, which means you should have a clean tiebreaker. So I would give the outright title to Norwalk, but I'm guessing it was probably co-champions between the Warriors and the Mustangs. After that, though, you had Indianola, who finished in third. They went 21-14 overall, 11-7 in the conference. Pella followed suit in fourth, 20-12 and 9-9 in Little Hawkeye play. The Indians finished fifth. Oskaloosa 14-20 overall record. They went 5-13 in the conference. Pella Christian in sixth at 12-16 overall, 4-14 in the conference, and then rounding it out, Newton 8-21 overall and just 2-16 in the Little Hawkeye. That was your final standings in conference play for the Little Hawkeye here in 2025. Breeding actually going to go after the lead runner, and it's a smart play as Applegate tags her out. Caught Parks trying to be a little too greedy on the hit over to her, and she caught her. A nice job from Applegate to track her down. So Grubb gets on via a fielder's choice, but the leadoff runner is erased for the Indians. Another heads-up play from Breeding. She's had a pair of those now. She had that arrow, a very uncharacteristic error, if I will, from Breeding, and since then she's certainly made up for that error with a couple of great plays at third. So you'll officially have Parkso down on a 5-4. 2 away now for Logan Edgar, who's currently at the dish. But interestingly enough, Jillian Parks, a fantastic base runner, 15 of 15 when we said in terms of stolen bases. She's been thrown out once by Taylor, a very close play her second time, and there she's caught on the bases, not trying to steal, but trying to be a little greedy and find a way to take third off of an infield hit. Instead, it ended up costing her, so she's been punched out on the bases twice now in some capacity. So credit Winterset for taking down one of the best base runners for the Indians twice here tonight. Two-one, popped up high over to Breeding at third, and she'll close the glove for out number 3. So for the third consecutive inning, Oskaloosa gets their leadoff hitter aboard, but they are not able to score any. So far, Kylie Nelson has held them to 4 scoreless innings, and the Huskies will try to add on to their lead in the bottom of the frame.
Here in Winterset, let Applegate Tax and Accounting provide you with all the assistance you need for your taxes and accounting services. Ben Applegate is a certified public accountant and an IRS-registered tax preparer, ready to help you with locations in Winterset and Waukee. For more information, call 515-462-4553 or visit their website.
Remember when retirement meant just stopping work and slowing down? Well, nowadays it's about so much more. Today's retirees are embracing newfound freedom and exploring new interests. Edward Jones Financial Advisors are here to help you identify your priorities and goals and create a plan to achieve them. Call Whitney Messer-Smith at 515-468-6200 to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Smith.
Bottom of the fourth here in Winterset, 1-0 Huskies. Back at the top of the fourth, we went over the final standings in the Little Hawkeyes. We're going to do the same for the Raccoon River, but real quick, due up for the Huskies, 7, 8, 9 in the order. Right now, you're looking at Natalie Smith. Behind her, you'll have Zoe Hope and Addie Gross. But final look at the Raccoon River here in 2025. We'll just list off the conference records instead of both of them here this time around. North Polk gets the title at 14-2. ADM comes in second at 12-4. Carlisle in third at 11-5, as that one is just pushed foul by Smith. Almost had her second base hit of the day. But like I said, Carlisle finishes in third with 11-5 record. They were tied with Bondurant Farrar, both 11-5. I think Varsity Bound had Carlisle above Bondurant Farrar, and those two teams had the exact same record against every single opponent in the conference. So that kind of eliminates any tiebreakers. So I just kept it with them, as Carlisle has more overall wins, 27-8, versus Bondurant being 23-9. But after that third and fourth place spot between Carlisle and Bondurant Farrar, you have the Huskies, who finished fifth, 10-6 record for them. Following behind them, Boone got sixth at 7-9, Gilbert in seventh, 5-11, Ballard in eighth at 2-14, and then Carroll comes in last at 0-16 in the Raccoon River. So that's your complete standings here in 2025. Congrats to the Comets on their victory here in the Raccoon River. They had a first-year head coach in Addie Pender, and they boasted a 32-5 record. Obviously got themselves a #1 seed in Sub-State. They'll have the right to host every game until the state tournament, as Smith will get her second base hit of the evening, a pair of singles for the sophomore.
Now batting number 35, Zoe Hope.
Zoe Hope will have Natalie Smith aboard for the second time today. This time, though, there is no outs. Last time in the second, there was one out when Hope dug in. It was Taylor who grounded out to short to lead off the second, and then Smith had that single. So a chance for Hope to push Smith into scoring position, and not shocking, a sacrifice bunt attempt there out of Winterset. Probably get a second look at that here from Hope coming up on this next pitch, who will likely put one down again, or attempt to do so. Bunt shown by Hope. It went a little high, but she's able to get it down. And she'll be punched out at first, but once again, another successful sacrifice bunt from the Huskies. They did it in the third to advance Devine after she got walked. It paid off for the Huskies as Devine came around to score the lone run here tonight. We'll see if they can do it again here an inning later. Addie Gross steps in. With one away and one in scoring position. She grounded out to second her first time up. Back in that Des Moines Roosevelt game on Wednesday, she went 2 for 3 with a double, poked out into left, and that's going to go off the glove of Gross. And advance, or Grubb, I should say, and a nice job from Gross, who takes second base. Time quickly called. Gonna get a second look. I'm not sure what that would go in as. Probably a hit. I mean, you have a dive there, so I think it'll probably go in as a double for Gross. And now Winterset's got 2 in scoring position with 1 away for the top of their order with Ashlyn Devine. Bunt laid down there by Devine, and it was a sacrifice play. Nice job from Devine. Not many times do you see that play being utilized with runners in scoring position, but they do that. And the throw to first allowed Smith to easily take home plate, so a nice job from Winterset. They're able to get down those bunts, and that allowed them to plate another run. 2 away, but a 2-run lead now for the Huskies. Gross was held up over at second as McKenna Olsen steps back in to the dish. Olsen 1 for 1 so far today, singled in the first, and laid down a sacrifice bunt in the third. Nice piece of hitting out of Olsen, smacked out into left. Runner is going to be waved home, and Gross scores. Give McKenna Olsen an RBI single.
Now batting number 2, Zoe Greedy.
3 hits now in the inning. RBI single there for Olsen. Single early from Smith, double from Gross. And Winterset has done a nice job here in the fourth. They scored 1 in the third. They've now put up 2 here in the fourth. And now you've got Zoe Breeding at the dish with 1 in scoring position, the most dangerous hitter for Winterset. You know, going back to the pregame, the thing we talked about was the matchup of the night, and really what I felt was going to determine your winner here in today's matchup was going to be in this, duel, if you will, between Winterset's offense and Oskaloosa's pitching staff. Nice play from Chris over at third. Kept that one in play and was able to punch out Breeding at first base. Again, nice job. Took away a hit and was able to throw out Breeding on top of it as well. But Winterset adds a couple of runs. They lead it by 3. You're watching the W Digital Network as we head to the 5th inning.
At Madison County Healthcare System, you're not just another patient. You're part of our family. Our dedicated team of familiar faces is here to provide personalized care throughout your treatment journey. From family medicine to emergency care and more, we offer expert care close to home. Trust the faces you know for the care you need. Madison County Healthcare System, where every patient is family.
Jones Creek Apparel offers graphics and logo design, screen printing, embroidery, direct-to-film, and promotional products. Proud supporters of Winterset Athletics. They are happy to work with any organization or individual, regardless of the order size. Open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to noon. Give them a call at 515-462-4132 or visit their website, jonescreekapparel.com. Jones Creek Apparel.
We enter the 5th inning. It's a 3-run advantage for the Huskies. They've scored runs. They've put up runs in both of the last couple of innings. 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, as Kylie Nelson goes out for her 5th inning here. She's done very well. And a final score out in Norwalk, 8-0. It's a win in 5 innings for the Warriors, so it's official. The winner of this game will advance to the sub-state final against Norwalk at their place to try and punch their ticket to the state tournament. You're either going to have a conference duel between some little Hawkeye foes, Norwalk and Oskaloosa. Oskaloosa lost 10-0, 14-0, and 9-0. The 3 times they've played the Warriors. Grounder over to Olsen. A routine play. Nice job from McKenna to punch out McGraw. It's definitely hard to beat a team 4 times in a season, but the Indians have been shut out in all 3 matchups, which is very hard to do if you're Norwalk. So that'd be an interesting battle if that's the one you get in the sub-state final here in sub-state 3. The flip side of that would be 1 versus 2, Winterset versus Norwalk. These 2 teams played back on July 1st, like we mentioned early. That was here in Winterset, 6-5 win for the Huskies in that one. A near top 10 showdown. Winterset finished the year ranked number 11 here in Class 4A. I think Norwalk is 2 or 3, if my memory serves correctly. So you would have just about a top 10 showdown, and a very good one at that, if that's the matchup you get. Winterset's got 3 more innings to go before they can advance to that game. Right now they're on a good trajectory to make it. Nelson has done really well. She's only allowed 1 base runner per inning. She faced 3 in the first, but she did give up a hit. You just had a throw out over at second base on a stolen base attempt that helped end the inning prematurely. Other than that, the second, third, and fourth all had 1 base runner, at least 1 base runner, but just 4 batters in the inning. A fly out there from Grubb into left puts 2 away quickly here in the 5th, bringing up the starting pitcher, Shannon Van Reenen. But the big thing, though, Nelson has been very productive. Just 2 hits allowed. She's only walked 1 batter, and she's had 1 error, and you'll have no mistakes there. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Huskies, and we'll stay with you here. We've got a nice little interview here in the middle of the 5th inning. Before we get to the bottom half, we're going to be joined by assistant coach Jennifer Devine. Looks like we got her coming on here. Give her the green light once she's aboard. Got her? You got me, Coach? Awesome. Like we said, joined by assistant coach Jennifer Devine. Coach, first thing I want to talk about, Kylie Nelson doing a very good job right now. Only 2 hits allowed. She has only walked 1. What has kind of been the big thing to having, just such a productive inning here, or productive outing so far? Yeah, second thing, kind of looking at the offense, so far I think the sacrifice bunt plays have been huge for you guys. Talk about how big that is, one to, you have leadoff hitters get aboard and then, successfully making those plays. I think that obviously helps your offense a ton. Talk to me about that.
Right. Winterset's always been about getting the bunt down. If we get a runner on first, we're automatically going to bunt. So we work on that a lot, and these girls, especially our seniors, have been working on it for 5 years. And so it's just a big part. It's just automatic that we're going to hit bunt when we got a runner on first.
Yeah. Last thing for you, Coach, and I'll let you get out of here. You've got, 3 innings left. What's the big thing you guys need to do both offensively and defensively to, keep your season alive and make it to the sub-state final?
We got to hit. We got to put our hits together. Right now, the changeup is throwing us off, so we're going to pick that up here in the next couple innings and score more runs, which then makes us more relaxed on defense.
For sure. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Thank you.
Again, a big shout-out and thank you to Coach Devine for joining us there. You've got a ground out for Olsen to kick off this 5th inning. It's 4, 5, 6 in the order here. You have that 4 spot go away. But again, kind of going to Coach Devine's point, if Winterset can continue to hit here, it's going to put them in a good position. Already 6 here today. And like we talked about, they've been really good with those sacrifice bunt plays. And, as she mentioned, having that being a focal point is, obviously a huge thing for this program. They focus a lot on executing those, and they've come up big here early. You had the sacrifice bunt in the 3rd that allowed a run to score eventually because of that play. You had 2 in the 4th, one of them an RBI from Ashlyn Devine. And so those have been huge, and just overall just finding their way on base, whether that's, coaxing a walk or getting base hits. Their offense has certainly aided a great performance from Kylie Nelson. And now, I wouldn't be in the spot to necessarily say insurance. I mean, it is. You really talk about insurance runs in the 6th, but the way Nelson has been throwing, you feel really good right now, but you can never feel too good in postseason play. A deep fly out for Applegate. Out into right field, retires her. We've got a quick 2 outs here in the 5th.
Now batting your catcher, number 5, Bella Taylor.
First pitch to Taylor. Slow roller over to third. And throw is in time. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Huskies here in the 5th. It is still 3-0 as we head to the 6th.
Looking for a taste of paradise right here in Winterset, Iowa? Come chill at Tiki Treats Iowa, your local spot for Hawaiian-themed treats. Dive into creamy Dole soft serve, refresh with our tropical snow, sip on fresh squeezed lemonade, and snack on warm buttery pretzel bites. It's a tropical getaway, no plane ticket required. Swing by Tiki Treats Iowa today and treat yourself to a mini vacation in every bite.
At Winterset Dental, doctors Jason Phelps and James Elliott offer comprehensive general dentistry for the whole family, including same-day crowns, root canals, extractions, and implants. They now also provide cosmetic services like Botox and dermal fillers at their new state-of-the-art 6,000-square-foot facility. Call Winterset Dental at 515-462-5755.
6th inning here in Winterset, and right now the Huskies are in control as we've got just 2 left to play. Oskaloosa going to have to figure something out offensively. They're down to just 6 outs here in their season. 3 runs is certainly not a huge hill to climb by any means, but they've got just 2 hits tonight, so they've got to find ways to get on base, and that's just, really just having good approaches and kind of, not making mistakes on the bases. Parks was thrown out once in an attempt to steal and then got a little greedy as well. That got an out despite her being the lead runner. You just can't have those things. And then also when you're in the position to, make a big play, you've got to find a way to make those. Back in the 2nd inning, they had their leadoff hitter in the inning, Cadence Grubb, get a single, and she was advanced over to third, but the Indians were unable to score her, and that's the closest they've been to bringing in a run. Other than that, they've only left one other runner aboard, and that was also Grubb over at first base. You've had a number of other people get on. Parks has been on twice, but like we said, she's been caught on the bases twice. And then you had Van Reenen get aboard, but she was taken out on a double play. She had a courtesy runner in for her, but regardless, the Indians have had opportunities to, put some pressure on Winterset, but the Huskies have instantly gotten out of that, and if Oskaloosa wants to make it to the sub-state final, they've got to change that here with just 2 innings remaining. 1-2 put in play, and that's exactly what you need if you're Oskaloosa. Single from the bottom of your order, the 9th spot, Vivian Bolabaugh. And
now batting shortstop, number 6, Haley Parker.
Oskaloosa has their first aboard, nobody out, and back to the top of the order, starting with Haley Parker. Bolabaugh has attempted to steal 8 times this season. She's been caught twice and has stolen 6 bags. Haley Parker 0 for 2 today out of that leadoff spot. Popped up to the left fielder. Divine her first time up. She was actually on the infield dirt. The corners were playing in for Winterset, allowing Divine to play a little bit closer as well. And she came in to make the catch. It was at the very back of the infield over at third base. And then she also grounded out to third as well. That one was actually Zoe Breeding, though. Still in the bag there is going to be Parker. Taylor a little late to pick that one up. So 1 in scoring position now for the Indians. A 3-1 count for Parker. And like we said, this is what you need if you were Oskaloosa to find a way to get back into this game, having good, clean approaches, just finding your way on base. The second part of that is capitalizing. That one gets under the glove of Breeding. And there was no throw from Olsen. So that's probably just going to go in as a hit. There's no error, just no throw from Olsen. So a couple of singles to start off the sixth. They had 2 through the first 5 innings, now 2 here in the sixth. And this is certainly the best position the Indians have been in. But like we've been saying, if you want to find a way to win, you've got to capitalize in big moments. And this is a big one here in the sixth. You're with the top of your order, 2 runners on, nobody down. Jillian Parks at the plate. First pitch to her, delivered for a strike by Nelson. Parks singled in the first and got walked in the fourth. Like we said, she's been caught on the bases twice. One is going to get past McKenna Olsen at short. Runner is held up at third, but you've got a trio of singles here in the sixth. Oskaloosa has juiced the bases with nobody out here in the sixth.
Number 15, Araceli Pilcher.
Araceli Pilcher, the 3 spot in the order. And the biggest spot so far for the Indians. If they're going to get back into this game, they've got to do it here in the sixth. You're not going to have a better opportunity than this. Bases loaded, nobody out, and down by just 3. But that's the type of thing that you can't have. Swinging at high pitches is not what you need. And we go kind of going back to like what I said coming into this inning. If you're Oskaloosa, you've got to have clean, solid approaches. Don't deviate. Don't panic. Don't try to be the hero. You've still got 6 outs available to you to use. And that's exactly what you need. It's an RBI single, and now make it a 2 RBI single. And both runners advance on an error from Smith out in center field. And just like that, we've got a brand new ball game here in Winterset.
Now batting catcher number 21, Cadence Grubb.
So give Pilcher a 2 RBI single, and then you'll have both runners advance on an error by Smith out in center field, who had trouble picking it up, which allowed both runners to advance. Well, really it allowed Parks to take third, and then after it coaxed the throw to third base, it was heads-up base running from Pilcher, who took second. She's taken out for a pinch runner. That's number 1, Taylin Parker. And now Oskaloosa is not only in a position to tie this game, but in a position to potentially take the lead. Still no outs here in the top of inning number 6. They've had 4 straight singles to start this 6th inning. And as Cadence Grubb looks to continue that, takes a big hack on the first pitch again. Going after the high pitches to start an at-bat. One is swing and a miss, and quickly an 0-2 count for Nelson. Best thing you can do here is get some form of an unproductive out. To a chase pitch, and she got the outside. A backwards K for Nelson, and that is the best thing that could happen for Winterset in that situation. Nobody moves, you get an out. You get past a great hitter in Grubb, and that will welcome Logan Edgar to the plate. Again, same spot, 2 in scoring position, but now 1 away. Edgar laid down a sacrifice bunt in the second, popped up to Breeding over at third, back in the 4th. .1-0 sent home to Edgar, and that takes a bite out of her. First hit by pitch from Nelson, just her second free bag allowed. She reloads the bases. That will bring up Ireland McGraw. Now, definitely not what you want if you're Oskaloosa, or if you're Winterset, I should say. But not necessarily in a bad position by any means. The bases are loaded. You've got a force out anywhere. The double play is on. So you can get out of this inning, I shouldn't say with ease, but you can certainly get out of it and make this just a 2-run inning for the Indians. But I go back to the 3rd inning for Winterset earlier. They had 2 in scoring position with 1 out, and they were only able to get 1 out of it, just 1 run. Grounder over to second. Applegate sends it over to first, and the double play will not be turned in time. Very close. The Huskies get 1 out, but the hit, or the ball put in play from McGraw, allows 1 run to score, and we are tied at 3 apiece here in Winterset. Gonna have a pinch runner over at first base. Kobe Chris comes in. No stolen base attempts for her. I would not be shocked if she attempts to take 1 right away, as you know, the hope is you could coax a throw from Taylor down to second base. That could allow, it's not Pilcher. She's got a pinch runner for her. Parker over at third to take home if you get a throw out of Taylor. So I would definitely send Chris probably on the first pitch if I'm Oskaloosa. We'll see what they do, though. This is the 8th batter of the inning. Kenna Grubbs steps in. Chance to take the lead with a batter just 60 feet away. They don't send Chris. One-0 goes home. Swing and a miss there from Grubb to even things up at 1-1. A miss low and outside. Now a high pitch there from Nelson. Gives Grubb the upper hand in the at-bat, 3-1. She kind of controls it. Nelson's going to have to give her some form of a competitive pitch. A bunt shown, pulled back, pitch goes home, and she's not able to catch the outside. A walk in 5 pitches reloads the bases for Shannon Van Reenen. Van Reenen a chance to give herself a lead in the circle. The starting pitcher, a base hit at least scores 1 and gives her a lead. We'll see if she can take advantage of this opportunity. She's reached on an error today and then grounded out to Nelson in the circle, her last time up in the 5th. This is the 9th batter of the inning for Oskaloosa. They've gone around the horn. We've talked about a disappointing inning for Winterset in the 3rd, only scoring 1 when they had 2 in scoring position with 1 away. And while this has definitely been very good and productive for Oskaloosa, I think you still come away from this inning semi-disappointed if you're not able to have a lead. The bases loaded with nobody out. They continue to stay loaded really over the course of the entire top half of this inning, or at least 2 in play. You'd love to score more than 3 for them, but if Winterset can shut the door only giving up 3 runs, I think you'll take that as a win. It's certainly not a win in terms of the inning, but if it's only 3 runs, I think that is a solid situation considering the bases were loaded with nobody out, and he gave up 4 straight singles to get things going. Nelson now only has 1 spot to put the softball, and that is in the strike zone. 3-1, bases loaded, nowhere to put Van Reenen. You've got to give her a hit that she can potentially hit. You do not want to walk the go-ahead run. That one put into play over at shortstop. They're going to go for the runner at 3rd, and they get it in time. But Oskaloosa able to tie things up here in the top of the 3rd inning. They get 3 runs off of 4 hits We've got a brand new ball game as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Montross Pharmacy has been offering fast, friendly, and professional service with familiar local faces you can trust since 1921. Locally owned and operated. At Montross, you get quick, reliable answers to your prescription and over-the-counter medication questions. They also have the healthcare supplies you need, as well as a gift shop and soda fountain. Conveniently located on the west side of the historic Winterset Square. Open Monday through Saturday.
Pizza Ranch in Winterset promises you a great experience. You'll find a buffet full of your favorite pizzas, the country's best chicken, or just come for dessert. They have party rooms available for your next family gathering or fundraising event. Craving a night in? Pizza Ranch delivers. Order online or call. Open Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Back in Winterset, and the Huskies now need runs here as we get into the bottom of this 6th inning, with it being tied up at 3 runs apiece. A big inning for the Indians. Like we said, 4 hits, 3 runs. There was 1 error by the Huskies. But now it'll go down to the bottom of their order. 7, 8, 9 to get things going here in the 6th. Brand new ball game. Both teams actually pretty even. 3 runs apiece, 6 hits apiece, 1 error for both, and 5 left on base for Oskaloosa, 6 for Winterset. That's the only difference. But the Indians have played a full 6 innings at the plate, so a little bit better in terms of not leaving people aboard. But we'll see if this game needs a bottom of the 7th inning, or if Winterset can get a go-ahead run here in the 6th and close it down in the top of the 7th. First pitch delivered to Smith is a strike. She's been productive today at the plate. A pair of singles, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th. Coach Smith and the Huskies would love if she can continue that trend and get another one. It's put in play over to short. Scooped up by Parker and fires away to first base to punch out Smith for the first time today. And that will bring up Zoe Hope. First pitch to Hope. Delivered down the middle and a strike there from Van Reenen to get this at-bat going. Hope 0 for 1 here today. Popped up to second and then laid down a sac bunt her last time up in the 4th. The 0-1 goes high, and that's a look at that changeup there from Van Reenen. You heard Coach Devine say that's definitely kind of tricked them a little bit. They've had trouble reading it, picking it up. And if they're able to get a hold of that and figure that one out, you'd be in a good spot if you're Winterset. Nice job from Hope to lay off that one. Outside, it was definitely tempting, but she stayed off. You got a 2-1 count for her. Trying to get on base for the first time today. Give the Huskies a runner aboard to try and give themselves a lead going into the 7th. 2-1 fouled off by Hope, and we're evened up at 2-2. Two on its way to Hope. Put in play back to the pitcher, Van Reenen, who easily tosses out Hope. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. And we go to the bottom of the order with Addie Gross. She doubled her last time up in the 4th. came around to score as well. She was the third run of the day for the Huskies. Now she's tasked to try and be the fourth and potential winning run. Strike delivered on the first pitch to her. Oh, one goes up the middle, but off the glove, or under the glove, really, of Van Reenen. Probably give that a base hit for Gross.
Gross reaches on a single, now batting number 1.
Hard hit ball just snuck under her glove. So Gross does it again, finding her way aboard from the bottom of the order. We'll see if the top can bring her around. Gross not a threat on the bases, just 2 stolen bags, so you'll have to see the Huskies' bats advance her. Strike called there on one of those off-speed pitches from Van Reenen. One misses low, evened up at 1-1. Divine today, just 0 for 1, flew out her first time up, walked in the third, had the RBI sacrifice bunt, but this time she is punched out, grounds out to first base. And we're going to head to the 7th inning, all tied up at 3 here in Winterset.
We're really excited to announce the addition of our tow truck. In addition to our rental cars, this is going to give us a unique ability to serve you better. We're going to have the ability to take the phone call from you stranded on the side of the highway after a deer hit or a collision, with the potential to load a rental car up on the back of our truck, deliver it to you on the side of the highway, get you back on your way to work or to home, load your accident vehicle up, bring it back to the shop where we can handle your claim process from there.
Is your puppy in need of a little TLC? Bring them down to Suds and Pups for a complete spa treatment in the state-of-the-art pet wash. Located next to Straight Shots Golf Simulator at 215 North 1st Avenue in Winterset. And don't forget, attached to the dog wash is Winterset's newest laundromat, open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Stop by today.
We enter the 7th inning here in Winterset. We've got a tie ball game. It's win or go home, and with the stakes, couldn't have a bigger ending. Tied here in the 7th. We'll see which team can take it from the other. The winner is going to advance to the sub-state final and take on Norwalk next Tuesday. They took down Fort Madison 8-0 in 5 innings to get themselves the win and advance one step closer to the state tournament. They're just waiting to see who their opponent is, and it's going to come in a big fashion for either team that comes out of this one. Winterset from here on out will have the chance to get a walk-off win, or Oskaloosa can take it in the last inning of the game, whether that's here in the 7th or potentially in extras. And credit them. They were down 3-0 entering the 6th. They put together a 4-hit inning, batted completely around the horn, and tied it up at 3 apiece. That one's put in play over to short. Slow roller. Olsen fires it over to her sister and punches out Bolaba in time. 6-3 is a good start there for the Huskies. And they gave up 4 straight singles, starting with Bolaba in the 6th. So to already have one less in that part of the order is certainly a win there for Winterset. Foul ball there from the top of the order, Haley Parker. Obviously, she had a single her first time up as well. Or I shouldn't say her first time, last time. Came around to score. 0-1. Nice play from Olsen, but has to eat the throw. And you had a shift from the Husky defense that made that a very tough play for Olsen to make. And Parker gets a single out of it, an infield one. So 1 on, 1 down now for Jillian Parks. Bunt shown by Parks, pulls back. Stolen base attempt, that one gets away from Olsen. And now the Indians have a runner in scoring position for Jillian Parks. Smart move there by the Indian coaching staff, showing bunt for that potential sacrifice bunt play, but you still get the same result without surrendering the out. And you pull the infield in a little bit once that bunt is shown, give you a better chance at the stolen base. Got a 1-1 count here for Parks. Pops that one up, and the count will be 0-2 now. O2 misses high. Nice stop from Taylor to grab that one and make sure Parker has to stay over at second base. One-two, a swing and a miss. A big out there for Kylie Nelson. Just her third strikeout of the game, but it's a big one. It's an unproductive out. Parker held up over at second. So now not a base hit doesn't necessarily allow Oskaloosa to take the lead. You would need a gap shot to guarantee the go-ahead run. A base hit could potentially do it. That one's popped up, going out into center. Oskaloosa thought they may have had a home run, but that one died pretty quickly. And Pilcher flies out into center. Nice job from the Huskies defense to get out of a bit of a jam and a little bit of some danger. They'll have a chance to walk it off in the bottom of the 7th. We'll see you then.
Swanson Masonry specializes in foundation replacement throughout central Iowa. If your foundation is damaged, their experienced team can safely and efficiently remove your existing foundation and construct a new one. While foundation replacement can be an extensive undertaking, Swanson Masonry has the skills necessary to get the job done right. Let them put their expertise to work for you. Give them a call at 515-210-3463.
The McDonald's in Winterset aims to offer an outstanding dining experience and a welcoming atmosphere while maintaining McDonald's gold standard in service, cleanliness, and value. Their vision is to be the top spot in the community for family and friends to enjoy great food, drinks, and conversation. They are open daily from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m., with the drive-thru available 7 days a week from 5 a.m. to midnight.
2-3-4 in the inning for the Huskies. It's the bottom of the 7th. We start with McKenna Olsen. You'll see Zoe Breeding and Macy Olsen. There could always be a home run before that or a couple of doubles, and you don't need to see that third batter. The first pitch of the inning, though, in for a strike. Oh, 1 pitch to McKenna Olsen, that changeup. That one just misses on the outside. Olsen today, very solid, 2 for 2. Singled in the first, put down a sacrifice bunt in the third, and then had an RBI single in the fourth. She's got a 1-1 count here. Again, just got to find your way on here if you're Olsen and see what the rest of your lineup can do, and that's exactly what she does. A single to get things started here in the 7th.
A single by Olsen now brings up Zoe Breeding.
The winning run is now aboard for the Huskies. And their most dangerous hitter is at the plate with Zoe Breeding. McKenna Olson just one stolen bag, so probably not going to see her move. So despite probably a home run, a base hit, even if it's one to the wall, may not score Olson. It could. Bunt shown there by Breeding. It's interesting. Coach Smith looks like she's trying to use a sacrifice bunt play. They've done it all night long, but this is also your best hitter. I'm kind of in the position where I would keep the bat in the hands of your best hitter, but I can also see the opposite side of just wanting a runner in scoring position. That one's put in play over too short, a potential double play. They won't turn it, but the lead runner is put out on a 6-4.
Now at the plate, number 3, Macy Olson.
So now you really can't do any form of sacrifice. I mean, you could, but I'm not sure I would put yourself in a 2-out position and really only give yourself one chance in a sense. I mean, you're in a good spot in the order. I think if you choose to do a sac bunt, you're not in a bad spot. A liner to second, and a double play is turned. Unfortunate turn of events for the Huskies. Nothing you can really do if you're Zoe Breeding. Grabbed nearly before it hit the ground by Parks. They turn 2, and we've got extra softball here in Winterset. We go to the 8th, 3-3 here in the Sub-State semifinal.
Step up to the plate and find your dream home in Winterset, a small town with a big heart. Alyssa Tadlock believes in hometown values, front porch living, and a community that always feels like home. Located at 65 West Jefferson in the heart of Winterset, we're here to help you hit a home run. Call Alyssa today, and let's make your next move a grand slam.
The Sports Page Grill at 224 East Highway 92 in Winterset is the place to meet your friends before or after that big event. With a great menu, you'll find something you love. The Sports Page Grill can host or cater any special events you might have. Just call 515-462-4673. The Sports Page Grill. We'll see you there, and don't forget the Sports Page is the home of Husky Talk Live.
It's the 8th inning here in Winterset. The Indians, with a late comeback, they tied it at 3 apiece in the 6th inning, scoring all 3 of their runs in that inning. And after a double play in the bottom of the 7th, erased the leadoff single from McKenna Olson, we get some free softball here in Winterset. First pitch hit high. That's going to stay in play, and it will be caught by Macy Olson to retire Grubb for out number 1.
Logan Egger.
One down now for Edgar. First pitch to her in for a strike. She had a sac bunt in the 2nd, popped up to 3rd back in the 4th, and then got hit in the 6th. That one roped out into left field, a base hit for Edgar. And the Indians now have one aboard here in the 8th.
Now batting for Oskaloosa, number 22, Ireland McGraw.
Ireland McGraw going to step in now. Go-ahead run is represented by Edgar over at first base. First pitch misses low from Nelson. And the winner of this game advances to the sub-state final, which is going to be held out in Norwalk. They won 8-0 over Fort Madison in 5 innings. That one sent deep out into right field, going back, and that one is over the wall. A 2-run home run from Ireland McGraw, and Oskaloosa jumps in front here in the 8th. A big-time blow for the Huskies. The single from Edgar, the home run from McGraw, and the Indians are now in the driver's seat to pull off an upset here on the road against the 2-seed Winterset here in Region 3, looking to face Norwalk for the 4th time here this season. So this is not Kenna Grubb. This is number 8, Leah Lorenzen. So quick switch there in the 7 spot. Bases are cleared for her, though, but no pressure. It's just insurance time now. Swings on the first pitch, popped up, and it'll be caught by the shortstop, Olsen. 2 now away here in the 8th. And that will bring up Van Reenen.
Shannon Van Reenen.
Winterset's got to find a way to make sure this game is no worse than a 2-run deficit heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. So far, you've had a great couple of innings by the Indians. They've scored the last 5. Winterset put up the first run in the 3rd. They put up 2 more in the 4th to make it a 3-0 ball game. And then 3 runs were put up in the 6th to tie it by Oskaloosa, and then the 2-run home run from McGraw here in the 8th gives them the lead and will put the pressure on the host, Winterset. 1-1 does catch the outside for a strike. That was the 3rd home run of the season for the sophomore. McGraw picked up a pair of RBIs, 19 on the season. Nelson a pitch away from getting out of the inning. She won't get it there. Staying alive there is Van Reenen. A miss outside, evened up at 2-2. Nelson was dealing through 5 innings. She had only given up 2 hits, only put 1 runner on freely with a walk, and had 1 reach via an error from her defense. And you're going to almost have a base hit, but a great play from the Olsen sisters. A great job from McKenna to go get it, and an awesome job from Macy on the stretch. Looked like it was going to be a base hit once that got past Breeding, but a fantastic play by the sophomores. Takes away a hit, but the Huskies have work to do. They're going to need at least 2 runs to stay alive in the bottom of the 8th.
Is your puppy in need of a little TLC? Bring them down to Suds and Pups for a complete spa treatment in the state-of-the-art pet wash. Located next to Straight Shots Golf Simulator at 215 North 1st Avenue in Winterset. And don't forget, attached to the dog wash is Winterset's newest laundromat, open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Stop by today.
The Husky Booster Club's goal is to broaden the involvement and enrichment of students, student families, the school, and the community through its support for junior high and high school-related activities. Money raised by the Husky Booster Club directly benefits all high school and junior high athletic and fine art programs. The Husky Booster Club has provided over $40,000 in funding over the last 3 years. To become a Husky Booster Club member, go to huskyboosterclub.org.
It's 5, 6, 7 in the order here for Winterset. Their season is now on the line here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They need at least 2 runs to bring it to a 9th inning, or they could win it with 3 or more runs here in the 8th. They showed heroics their last time out against Des Moines Roosevelt. A 3-run home run from Bella Taylor won it. It was a 7-5 final, so the 3-run shot. They were down 5-4. She hit that. They got the win. And the Huskies need that once again. And I go back to what I said for Oskaloosa before the 6th inning. The key in these situations is not letting the moment get too big. Stay within yourself, have good approaches, be smart with your at-bat, and ultimately your job is just to find your way on base, do your 1/9, and let the rest of the lineup do that same and follow suit. If you can stack runners aboard, you put yourself in a really good position, and that's what Winterset's got right now. Applegate with a 3-0 count. She's absolutely going to be taken on this pitch. No way she's swinging. So you know Van Rienen's probably going to put one in the strike zone. Just like I said, one in the strike zone take there from Applegate. And now this is kind of in the situation. It's still being smart. You're still in that semi-precautionary approach where you just need base runners. So I kind of like to look at it as a shoebox. If it's there in that shoebox when you like it, swing. Wasn't there for Applegate, no big deal. And now she's in a spot where she'll have to swing. She'll have to battle. 3-2 count. Van Rienen just a pitch away from fighting her way back from a 3-0 deficit against the leadoff here in the 8th, and Neela Applegate, one of the best hitters for Winterset. Applegate puts one high out into left field, but that one dies a little late. A collision out in left center, but Grubb was able to hold on to it.
Number 5, Bella Taylor.
It looked promising off the swing from Applegate, but it dies late. And there's out number 1 here in the 8th. That brings up Bella Taylor. Again, same thing. Just find your way aboard. First pitch to Taylor, put in play over to short. Picked up by Parker, and Taylor is punched out in one pitch. Just like that, Oskaloosa is 1 out away from getting an upset win here in Winterset and advancing to a sub-state final against Norwalk. They haven't had a lot of luck versus the Warriors this season. They've lost all 3 times, 10-0, 14-0, and 9-0. If they can close it out here in the 8th, they'll get a 4th and final chance to take down the Warriors. But for now, Winterset trying to pull off quite a magical rally here in the 8th with 2 away. The 1-0 to Smith, in for a strike. Smith with a pair of singles here tonight, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th. She grounded out to short back in the 6th. Nice shot for Smith to lay off of it. 2-1 your count. Again, you can't win it on this at-bat, so that's why I go back to just finding your way on base. You've got people behind you who are going to have to do the same thing. So if you're Natalie Smith, you don't have to be a hero. Just get things started. It's a 2-2 count, 2 away. 2-run advantage for the Indians. They're now just a pitch away from advancing to the sub-state final and getting an upset over Winterset. The Huskies were on a hot streak entering the postseason. They won 6 of their final 7. Oskaloosa trying to snap that, and that will do it. A fly out into center field, and Oskaloosa storms back to take it from Winterset. Again, it was a 3-0 ball game entering the 6th. The Indians were down to their final 6 outs. They put up 3 in the 6th. They force extra innings. And then the hero, Ireland McGraw, a 2-run home run over the right field fence to seal the deal. and give Oskaloosa the win 5-3 here in Winterset. They end the night with 9 hits and 5 runs. On the flip side, Winterset 3 runs off of 8 hits, but the difference, Oskaloosa a little bit better in crunch time and in clutch time to take down the Huskies. They upset them, and they advance to the sub-state final on Tuesday against Norwalk with a chance to punch their ticket to the state tournament. After losing in the first round last year, they're trying to do a 180 and completely turn the table, but that closes the season for the Huskies. They'll end 2025 with a record of 25-15. They lose in the second round to Oskaloosa despite being the higher seed and getting the bye. But that's going to go ahead and do it for all of us here in Winterset. On behalf of our production crew, my name is Evan Westling saying so long, where your final is 5-3. The Indians advance to take on Norwalk in the sub-state final.
You have been watching Winterset Activities live on the Husky YouTube channel, presented by the W Digital Network, powered by AHV Productions, and sponsored by Farmers and Merchant State Bank, Winterset Dental, Whitney Messerschmitt with Edward Jones, Hold Our Youth Tight, Tiki Treats, Applegate Tax and Accounting, Madison County Healthcare System, Agriland FS, The Sports Page Grill, Roush Collision and Restoration, McDonald's, Swanson Masonry, Alyssa Tadlock, Madison County Realty, Sudson Pups Laundry and Dog Wash, The Pizza Ranch of Winterset, Jones Creek Apparel, Montross Pharmacy and Gift Shop, and the Husky Booster Club.